Are you part of the rat race? That slow, painful grind from Monday to Friday, living paycheck to paycheck and never really getting anywhere? Many of us slug it out for years in the hopes of a measly pay raise or promotion for the sake of title, but we're still stuck in the same endless loop of working ourselves to death. So, how do we escape the rat race? Welcome to Mindnificent. In today's video, we're going to discover how to ditch working yourself to death in a boring 9-to-5 or worse. Click that subscription button if you want to be smarter with money and learn all the things about getting rich. Are you ready? Let's get into it. What is the rat race? The term rat race has been used since the 1950s, and it came about observing lab rats who toiled away for hours to solve a complex maze only to be rewarded with a tiny piece of cheese. It quickly translated to describe being stuck in an endless loop of work for minimum reward. To put it simply, if you are participating in the rat race, you are trading your time for money for the entirety of your working life. Being a rat in a rat race means that by trading the prime years of your life for money, by the time you have enough money to enjoy it, you're at the end of your life with no time left. It's a slippery slope. So, what does the dreaded rat race look like? Let's talk about our friend David. David was a gifted child who always got good grades. He went to a prestigious college and graduated top of his class. David gets a graduate job, and now he has more money to spend than he ever has in his entire life. So he decides to reward himself for being so dedicated and working so hard to get where he is. The first item on the shopping list is a brand new 4K TV. He has his eye on a sports car, but he purchases a functional car for now until he can finally afford his dream car. David goes to work 5 days a week. He works overtime, takes on a mountain of responsibility, way above his pay grade, as he continues to work harder in order to get a promotion and a raise, which may or may not come his way. The moment David's salary increases, he upgrades his car and moves into a newer apartment on the nicer side of town. You may notice that David's life is perpetually on the rinse and repeat cycle of life. He has a goal, and he believes the best way to achieve that goal is to work hard. The moment he can buy his next materialistic goal, he does. However, his satisfaction is fleeting, and once he buys the latest financial goal, he then moves the goalposts. The more money he earns, the more he spends, the more expensive items he wants. This is in turn requiring him to work even harder, longer hours as he climbs the corporate ladder to earn more money. Rinse and repeat. If your head is spinning at this idea, you're not alone. Welcome to the rat race. Sadly, David's situation is probably the most idealized version of the rat race. Realistically, the vast majority of the rat race are either poor or middle class, and they live paycheck to paycheck. Most people, if they are lucky, just make enough money to cover their bills and living expenses, with their rent or mortgage taking the lion's share of their income. Not to mention groceries, utilities, and subscriptions alongside the financial curveballs that life throws everyone, such as weddings, birthdays, funerals, and job loss. All while the taxman has his hand out, taking his fair share of anything and everything you've earned, working 30 to 40 years only to retire. The realities of the rat race are blatantly depressing when you really analyze what life looks like for the majority of the population. One way that most people escape the rat race is denial. But sadly, those people are the ones that will never escape because the reality is too difficult to admit and accept. People who opt for denial are only doing a disservice to themselves by not taking a moment to reflect upon their current situation and take an inventory of how they are living their life and the current trajectory of their actions. Time passes by with or without your permission, so why not take a moment to reflect and make sure you are headed down a path that is going to be satisfied and content with how you've lived your life. If all of this feels too close to home for you, you need to stay with us as we explain practical ways to help you escape the rat race. Number 1. Why do you want to escape the rat race? We only take action when we know why we want to make a change. Why is the fundamental reasoning that drives motivation. Think of it this way: you aren't going to type in a random address into Google Maps and get in your car and travel there if you have no reason to do so. Work out what you feel are the worst things about being part of the rat race. Is it working for someone else? Having a jerk of a boss? Do you find your industry and workplace toxic? Are you sick of being paid pittance for your blood, sweat, and tears? Reflecting on why you want to escape will give you the fire in your belly, grit, and motivation to formulate a plan to escape the rat race and never look back. Number 2. Stop spending like you can afford to do so. I know you work hard, and it can be disheartening to feel like you can't afford to buy something you desire and spoil yourself. After all, you work so much, you deserve it, right? Yes, you do, but in order to escape the rat race, you have to curb your spending. Instead of racking up debt and living off tomorrow's money, cut up your credit card. Only buy things you actually need. Don't buy things to fit in or impress people. You can even cut things off your grocery list, such as bottled water, when you have tap water available to you at home. Try to reduce your expenses as much and as creatively as possible. This will help you to accumulate excess money long-term with which you can invest and grow. Doing so will help you attain the financial freedom you crave. Number 3. Pay yourself first. The idea of paying yourself first is confusing for someone who has never done so. When the majority of people get paid, they will feel an overwhelming need to pay off all their expenses first. So they will pay rent, internet bills, phone, and utilities, and they try to live off the little they have left. Paying yourself seems counterintuitive because the idea is to allocate a certain amount of money to yourself every pay, and then you pay your bills from the remaining money you have left after you have paid yourself. This can be anxiety-inducing because it is quite possible that you may fall short of covering your bills and expenses. However, having no money is a powerful motivator. If you pay yourself first and can't afford the rest of your life, it forces you to become creative and use your initiative to find a secondary stream of income so that you don't fall behind. You may start a new side hustle, dedicate time to creating content, or look into drop shipping just to get by as you keep stashing away funds to invest and grow your wealth. Number 4. Every day I'm hustling. Okay, so you have worked all week, and I'm sure the absolute last thing you want to do is work some more. But hear me out. If you want to escape the rat race, you need to make more cash in the short term to acquire new assets so that you can achieve financial freedom. What better way to do this than to invest your spare time into a side hustle? For instance, you might have a skill that you can sell, such as teaching an instrument, tutoring school children, content creation, freelance graphic design, programming, or marketing. The examples we have just listed require your time, but there are other side hustles that are more passive that you could look into, such as drop shipping, online education, or app creation. These will require initial setup work, but once all the initial hard work is done, you can sit back and relax. The purpose of the side hustle is to generate income that you can use to acquire bigger assets and investments. Number 5. Learn the art of sales and marketing yourself. There is no use being talented and extremely skilled if you are completely incapable of selling and marketing yourself. People who are able to combine their talents and skills with the most valuable business skills there are, sales and marketing, are going to significantly increase their chances of successfully escaping the rat race exponentially. Oftentimes, the people who get the job over you in an interview were not more skilled and experienced than you. They were able to market and sell themselves better than you did. Imagine you're a gifted and prolific artist, and all your friends and family are in complete admiration of your exemplary talents. The walls of your home are filled with your paintings, and there isn't an empty wall in sight. So your paintings are being stacked upon each other in the garage, while your car is relegated to the street. It is glaringly obvious that you have what it takes to be a painter, but there is one piece of the self-promotion puzzle that is missing. The next step is to develop skills in sales and marketing. To do so will mean that you can start selling your artwork for extra cash, and your car will eventually have the space to move back into the garage. Sales and marketing are skills that are so invaluable when it comes to putting yourself out there and marketing yourself. If you can learn how to sell yourself by leveraging your talents and effectively market yourself, then your hobby could all of a sudden help you accumulate wealth, not dust. Number 6. Outsource everything. If you decide you want to start your own business to escape the rat race, you're going to need some help along the way as you build your assets. Someone who is self-employed is a person who has swapped out their 9-to-5 for their very own 9-to-9 job. To put it simply, they work in their business. An entrepreneur, however, is someone who runs their business. They are busy working hard to grow their business and meet the company objectives. When you are running a business, you need to hire help, and when you do that, it is crucial to hire people who are smarter and more skilled than you. You want to find the best social media expert or the best SEO specialists or web designer. Don't be afraid to outsource everything you possibly can in order to ensure your business is successful, which is helping you escape the rat race. That's all the time we have for today. Do you feel like you're stuck in the rat race? What's stopping you from getting off the treadmill and forging your own path? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, please click on the subscribe and bell notification button because more magnificent video is on the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.